Hello and welcome to another episode of Learning to Live in the Present Moment. My name is Ted Robinson and I'm your host today. Today we're going to be talking about forgiveness and what role it plays in life and the present moment. You see, the only reason we need to forgive is because we believe something wrong has been done to us, or that we've done something wrong, I guess, so we can forgive ourselves. And the fact of the matter is, that just comes down to our judgment. Now, I'm not suggesting that things aren't wrong, because in our judgment, they are. Our society sets up judgments, and they're called statutes, criminal statutes, for wrongdoing, civil statutes for wrongdoing. We have a whole system of justice, and religion all tell us what's right and wrong. The Ten Commandments tell us how to be and how not to be. So, judgment is very much within our society, within our mentality, within our being. And yet, it's what causes so much of our pain and lack of peace in life. And that's what I'm here to talk to you about today. You see, when we carry around a judgment of somebody else, or even ourselves, we tend to hold on to the emotion, the negative emotion of that judgment. So if somebody has wronged us, we may feel hurt. We may feel angry. We may feel frustrated. There are any number of negative feelings we can feel out of our judgment of what's happened to us. However, the problem with that is that every time we bring that thought up again, every time we think of that person or that experience, along with it comes this whole negative feeling. And the negative feeling has effects upon our body and our mind. So just consider your own life. Think of something that's been done wrong to you. It could be the small or large, it doesn't really matter. But whatever has been done to you, and I'm putting quotes around that, is because sometimes people just do things, right? They just do things. They don't do them consciously to hurt you, to anger you, to upset you, or to do something wrong to you. They just do them. They're pretty much unconscious about their actions, and they just do things. And it's our judgment many times that causes us to struggle with hurt and anger and frustration and pain and all kinds of lack of peace because of what we believe they've done to us, when in reality they've just done something. A good example is when you're on the road and somebody cuts you off and you get angry. Look at that person's callous individual, that arrogance. Well, the fact of the matter is maybe that person's got somebody sick in their car and they're trying to get to the hospital. It doesn't matter how they get there, as long as they get there to save that person's life. Or maybe somebody's got a couple of screaming kids in the back and a dog, and they're jumping all over the place, and they're reaching over to say, "Shut up!" and they cut you off. Who knows what the reasons are, the things that are going on, but we think we know. And we think we know that we've been jeopardized, and therefore we get angry, right? I know I've been angry on the road many times. Talked about it here on the show many times. But the fact of the matter is, we don't always know what's going on the other side. We don't always know what the other person is thinking, what their purpose or intention was. But we interpret it. We judge it. We decide whether they did something to wrong us, to harm us, to do us dirty. And we carry that around. And that's the problem. We carry it. I'll use me. I carry it around with me. Every time I think of that person, every time I think of that incident, I carry it around with me. I carry the hurt. I carry the pain. I carry the frustration. I carry the anger or the rage. I carry it around with me. And what does that do for me? Well, first off, I keep it alive. Oh boy, am I angry. I keep it alive. But by doing that, what have I done? I've eradicated peace. There is no peace in the middle of anger, right? There's no peace in the middle of rage. There's no peace in the middle of hurt or sadness. There's no peace. And ultimately, living in the present moment is about living in peace. And that's the point. There can be no peace in the middle of judgment and wrong and harm and frustration and anger and rage. There can't be any peace in the midst of all that, right? Does that make sense to you? So how do we do this? What do we do about getting back to peace? Well, one thing you can do, and it's very simple, is you can come to the present moment. Remember, that's what this show's all about, learning to live in the present moment. Because you see, in peace, when you're in the present moment, you are automatically in peace. Let me explain. First off, it's a visceral feeling of peace. Here I am. I'm at peace. This is it. Now, the beauty of that is that it's available to you every moment. It's available to you, every moment. Now, how you get there, that may be a different story. But the first thing you can do is just be present. And I've explained to you, mechanically you can bring your hands out and open your eyes and everything else, or you can just be present. In this moment, I am totally at peace. In fact, I'm having a hard time remembering what I was going to say. Because I've quieted my left brain. I've quieted my ego mind. The conscious mind is just quiet. And when that quiets, guess what happens? Judgment quiets too. When I quiet my judgmental left brain, my ego mind, when I quiet it down and it just quiets, I have no capacity to judge any longer. Something else. I have no capacity to remain in the past. Do you understand that? You see, everything that's been done wrong to you, every time you've been wronged, or you've judged yourself to have been wronged, and righteously, I'm not suggesting otherwise, it's in the past now. It's not here now, right? So what happens? You have to use your memory, left brain again, your ego mind, to go back in and dredge it back up and bring it back here now. That's the problem. So you see, we have a choice. You have a choice. Everyone has a choice. Do I want to be peaceful? Do I want to be here now in peace? Or do I want to go back into the past and bring it back up here so I can rage and be angry about it? Or hurt and depressed or sad about it? It's not here now, except in my mind, except in your mind. None of it, none of your past is here now, except as you choose it to be by going back into the memory and bringing it back up into the present and saying, I'm still angry with that. Well, you can do that. It's a choice. It's your choice. Now, you may choose to do that, or you may choose to not do that. That's a choice as well. So, what would you prefer? Would you prefer peace? Or would you prefer to hang on to your anger, your righteous anger, your resentment, your frustration, your rage? Is that better? It's a choice. It's your choice. Now, I don't want to overstate this because many times people say, well, you have no idea what happened to me. And my life has been terrible ever since that happened. And I agree with you. I understand that. I truly do. Now, do you want to continue that way of being in life? See, this is a choice that you can make. You can make the choice as to whether or not you want to continue that feeling that arises every time you think back to that original sensitizing incident, the time when that happened to me. And look what my life has been ever since. Or peace. It is a choice. And it's only one person's choice. It's your choice. It's my choice for me. It's your choice for you. Just think about that a moment. I'll be right back. Welcome back. So have you thought about it? What would your choice be? You want to stay in the anger? It's okay. How many more years would you like to process this anger, this frustration, this rage, this hatred? How many more years would you like to do that? Another lifetime or two? It's okay. As long as it serves your purpose, as long as it meets your expectations of your lifetime, as long as you're enjoying the ride, knock yourself out, enjoy it. It's not a problem. We each live our lives the way we live our lives. And I'm not here to judge it. However, there is a choice to let go of that. Now, originally I said you can just be present. And that's true. You can just be present. And it's not here because your mind is not in the past. Your mind is just here present. There's another choice. The other choice is to forgive and forget, because forgiveness, first off, assumes that something was done wrong to you, right? That you were wronged. And that you now have a slightly higher position, a moral position, shall we say, of having been wronged. And so you have the choice to grant forgiveness. Oh, I forgive you. That's how big I am. Or you might want to suggest, or I might want to suggest to you, maybe you want to forgive others to get back to peace. You see, forgiveness carries it's a loaded word. It's a charged word. Oh, I have to forgive them when they did the wrong thing to me. No, you don't have to. It's always a choice. But the answer is, which do you prefer? Do you want to stay in that charged negative feeling? Or do you want to get to peace? It's all it ever comes down to. But how can I possibly forgive somebody for doing that to me? The answer is, you don't have to. It's your choice. How long would you like to stay away from peace? How long would you like to stay in regret, anger, retribution, rage? How long do you want to stay there? How long is enough? It really is your choice, honestly. Now, you may not believe this yet because you may be so imbued with that anger and the hatred because you may have been conditioned that way. You know, the Hatfields and McCoys? The Hatfields and McCoys had a running feud for, I don't know, it was 60 or 100 years where they were killing each other's kin down in Tennessee or Kentucky or someplace. Well, did it have any purpose after a while? Well, they did this to me, so I'm going to do that to them. Okay, feel free. You want to spend all your time doing that? Feel free. You want to spend all your time looking over your shoulder? Who's there to try to get me back? Well, the answer is, would you like peace? Or do you want to keep looking over your shoulder? Or do you want to keep looking out for somebody that you can do bad to get them back? See, that's really the choice there is. And ultimately, it just comes down to that choice. So forgiveness doesn't just mean, well, I forgive you for sinning against me or doing the wrong thing against me, harming me in some way. It's not about that. Because if you do that without forgetting about it, letting it go, you might as well not bother, because you really haven't let it go. It's only when you can truly forgive it and forget it, let it go completely, will it really bring peace back into your life. You know, I see so many people in my healing practice who just want some peace in their life. They have no peace. And so they come to me and I talk to them about this kind of thing. And I show them about emotional freedom technique, you know, the tapping technique I show on this show occasionally. Looks like that. And when they're really ready to let go of the hurt and the anger and all the rest of it, it goes pretty fast. Because you can let go of hurt and anger and rage and all these other negative emotions pretty quickly by just rebalancing the body's energy meridians, which is what this tapping does. But when you're really not ready to let it go, you can do all the tapping in the world, you can do all the forgiving, quote unquote, in the world, and it really won't matter because your mind will go right back to that incident and pull it back up, dredge it all back up, and bring it back here now so you can look at it and feel it in your gut. But there won't be any peace. So when you forgive somebody, they may never know that you've forgiven them. You don't have to go and forgive them and say, I forgive you. They may not care. They may not ever know that you forgave them. Because it doesn't really matter. Isn't that strange? It doesn't matter whether they ever know. It only matters when you forgive them from within you. That's what matters the most. You see, when you forgive somebody else, you let go of the grievance. You let go of the judgment. You let go of the anger and rage. You let go of all of that. Why? So you can have peace. It's all happening within you. It all started within you. Your judgment of it is what started it all. So the beauty of this is that doesn't make you at fault. Don't misunderstand me. The beauty is that when you have done something, you can change it. You can undo it. You can make it anew. You have that capacity every moment of every day. Every moment is a new opportunity for peace. Every moment. All it takes is letting go of the past, letting go of your fear of the future, and just being here now, in this present moment. I'll be right back. Welcome back. This is the moment of now. This is another one. And here's another one. Now, in each of those moments, you have a choice to make. Do I want to go back to that old incident that's no longer here and bring it back here? Well, many people are conditioned that way. I can't let go of that until they come and apologize to me for what they did wrong to me. Okay. If that's what you think, if that's what you choose, then that's the way it is. And if they never come back to you to apologize, you'll never have a moment's peace. You'll be waiting for them. You'll be angry with them. You'll hold on to that grievance about them. And they may never know about it. You see, inherent in everything I'm talking about is the fact that the ego wants to teach them a lesson. I'll show them. I'll never forgive them until they apologize. Well, that's a choice. And you can hang on to that. But ask yourself this, will that bring me peace? Can I be peaceful as long as I'm holding on to that? The answer is pretty clear, isn't it? The answer is no. So when you forgive somebody, whether you tell them or not, when you forgive them within your own heart, you allow the spaciousness of the past and the future to dissipate, and the spaciousness of presence becomes all. In the present moment, everything is peaceful. It's just that simple. So, by letting go of the past, letting go of the future, through forgiveness, you are here, now, in the present moment, and it is peaceful. It's automatically peaceful. That's by definition. Now, what about forgiving yourself? What do you need to forgive yourself about? Anything? Can you think of anything? Oh, I'll never be able to forgive myself for that. That was the worst thing I ever did. How could God forgive me? How could anybody forgive me? I can't forgive me. And that's the bottom line. I can't forgive me are the operative words here. When you can't forgive yourself, it's because you're judging yourself. No, God said it's wrong. The Ten Commandments said it's wrong. My religion said it's wrong. Okay. Are you at peace about it? No, I'm not at peace. Well, it's a choice. Well, how can I have a choice? Everybody tells me I'm wrong. The answer is, it's still a choice. You see, we adopt other people's judgments. We adopt the Ten Commandments. We adopt social norms. We adopt all kinds of things as our own judgments. And as long as we do that, we judge ourselves, just like everybody else. In fact, usually, we are our own harshest judges. We judge ourselves more harshly than anyone else can. And I often say in my tapping groups, because nobody else knows what I've done as much as I know what I've done. If they ever knew, they'd never be my friend. They'd never accept me. Well, here we go. The fact of the matter is, this is just your mind, your ego mind, judging you. A choice. So how do you get over that? Well, I'm not suggesting that you become a sociopath and become a mass murderer with no regret. That's not what I'm suggesting. I'm not suggesting any kind of thing of that nature, or that you should never have any worries or fears about judging yourself or otherwise. What I'm suggesting is, if you're not at peace, if you have no peace in your life because you're busily judging yourself for whatever reasons, it's time to let that go. It's time to forgive yourself. Now, how do you forgive yourself for something that you've done that's really, really wrong in your mind? Well, you can hang on to it. Does it bring you peace? No, it doesn't. Remember, it's in your history. It's in your past. It's not here now. It's in the past. So the only way in which you can dredge that back up is by thinking about it with your conscious mind, your ego mind. If you think about it with your ego mind, bring it back. You can dwell on it for the rest of your days if you want, if that makes you feel better by feeling guilty. Or you can put it into the future. What happens if somebody finds out what I've done? Oh my God. Will that bring you peace? No. So what's the answer? The answer is quite simple again. Come back to the present moment. And if you have problems being present because your mind keeps coming in and saying, but you did that and somebody's going to find out, past and future again, it's just your mind. It's just your ego mind coming back in to disrupt the peacefulness of the present moment. So the best way to do that is to just come back to the present moment. Here I am in present again. That's the idea. And by the way, if you have any questions about any of this, remember, God does not judge you. God loves you. You are love. You are the purest essence of love. When you're in the present moment, you are love with God. You and God are one in that present moment. Since God is love, you are love. And peace prevails. That's the whole idea of this. peace prevails. In the present moment, that's where peace exists. And the best way to do that is to forgive everybody outside of yourself and yourself, and come back to the present moment and experience peace. You can always go back to it. If your mind comes back up again, fine. If you want to deal with it, you can tap it away by acknowledging it and forgiving yourself. But the bottom line of it is, it's always a choice you make. And I suggest that you make the choice for peace. Make the choice of presence, and peace automatically prevails. I hope that gives you a better insight into forgiveness, and I hope it helps you remember that we're all here for the same purpose, to learn to live in the present moment and fully awaken in our lives, without guilt, without fears, without holding judgment of anybody else. Ultimately, it's to just be here now. And that's it. I'll see you next week, same time, same place. Have a wonderful week.